We are here today to support our tenants fighting against CIM.
If it weren't for the workers, if it weren't for you, this local economy would collapse.
My money for food, CIM,
This building is a working people building. This building is an immigrants building, and we're not going nowhere. We're gathered here today. We're asking them to come out and talk to us. They would not be willing to talk to us.
We go to Southern Towers because we have families, we have friends. That's where we usually go because that's where most people who work at airports or parking, that's where they live. It's been historically since, I believe, the 1980s, where most African immigrants start to arrive. That's been home to the community. Right now, we're close to 5,000 residents live in Southern Towers, where about a third of them are African immigrants. It has its own 7-Eleven, bank, and it's actually the largest commuter bus station in the city too.
I'm from Ethiopia. I came here almost 20 years ago. Since I came here, I just live in this building. It's the community. The people are friendly. You can walk a skyline like, shopping. You can have like some coffee. Even if you don't have a car, you don't have to worry. You can just walk and buy grocery and come back. And the bus, for example, I don't have a car. Take a bus in the morning, you can go to DC. What else do you need? That's why we just want to live here.
It's home to the community. Southern Towers was considered like the largest stock of affordable housing in the city, and they came after it with everything they have. African Communities Together is the largest member-led African immigrant organization in the country. We work on immigration issues, housing, civic engagement. Always in every campaign that we work in, the priority is like how are we empowering the community, how are we training community leaders, how are we running these campaigns in a way that it's sustained by the community leaders itself.
I think our vision, our long-term vision is essentially for us to be at a point in time where in the US, African immigrants and other immigrants know that they have access to the resources that they need to thrive, to not feel like an other, and to feel like they are actually included and really kind of woven into the fabric of American society without feeling like a burden. So that is kind of like our long-term vision, and that's what we work towards every day.
Most importantly, we are building power. Some people, they're afraid to speak their truth, because of, fear, because of something, because of insecurity. But now you're teaching them that they're not insecure, and you're telling them their power, their rights.
In August 2020, in the middle of the pandemic, CIM Group came and bought Southern Towers for over $500 million, the largest real estate transaction for the year in the whole country.
CIM is an LA-based private equity company, and they do a lot of work in just development and real estate. And they basically kind of came onto our turf through financing from pension funds and also from like financially backed mortgages from Freddie Mac.
I think they filed 500 evictions in the city. They have the highest evictions at the courts than any other landlord in the city. And even though they know that they cannot evict people because it's a pandemic, there was, eviction moratorium, they continued to send threatening letters to residents, dragging them to the court, not trying to provide any relief, but to put more pressure for people to leave.
now there are all these added fees, like now tenants have to pay for utilities when previously they, I believe, only had to pay a flat fee of $20 per person for water and $15 for trash, and that was it. Now we have tenants coming in saying, hey, I just got like a $300 utility bill. The sense that I'm getting from the conversations with tenants is that they went from, this is my home and I'm building a life here with my family, my friends, to I don't know if I can stay here anymore, and I don't think that this new landlord is really here to make sure that I can actually be safely housed.
They want to clear out 1,000 towers of these African immigrant working force residents and get the place ready for newly arriving Amazon headquarters takers.
When Amazon landed on coming to Virginia, literally I think about 10 minutes away from Southern Towers, we now have a bunch of developers who are trying to kind of take advantage of the new, I want to say, group of people that Amazon is going to be bringing in. And so because of that, they're, scrambling to kind of take up a lot of space so that they can rent it to a certain class of like workers. And it's not really like the blue collar workers that have made this community their home, right? It's like the tech workers. And so that, I think, has played a huge role in why CIM is here, and not even just CIM, just other developers as well. I think these developers are looking at housing as less of a human right and more of just like a profit opportunity, and that should never really be the case.
That's how we started organizing the residents there to push back, and like we started a campaign that's called Cancel Rent.
We started like by rent cancellation, but we found rent cancellation is really hard. So we changed our action and our plan to stop evicting us.
People brought their cars and started doing a car caravan around the compound with signs on their cars saying cancel rent and don't evict us.
We won that fight, and instead they've got a rental assistant.
That took a lot of people starting to believe in themselves and believing in organizing and fighting back.
Our first action was a surprise visit to one of a senator to Virginia. So we went there, we made our traditional Ethiopian coffee, and we brought sambusa. So while he was enjoying his dinner with his family, a bunch of tenants with car, we just arrived. The tenant was saying to him, look, you're enjoying your meal, you're enjoying the dinner with your family member, but me and my kids are about to go to street because we cannot afford to pay. And this landlord is about to push us. And that was the time that we have gotten eviction moratorium extension.
We are facing a housing crisis and you are in a unique position to help. We are asking you not to invest in CIM in the future. We are also asking you to contact CIM and demand that they take our requests seriously, address the mold and maintenance problems we have brought to their attention, and to treat their tenants with the dignity and respect we deserve. Thank you for your time.
What kind of power? We got a power! What kind of power? What kind of power? What kind of power?
All the people I know, they are moving out. I think I am the only one live here. Because of the rent high, because of everything. Everything is changed since CIM taking over.
I used to live in Southern Towers buildings, and also now I'm working with African Community Together as an organizer. There was a lot of maintenance issue. We moved because there was a lot of molds. There was a problem on the ceiling, and when you call them, they just come late, It have bad smell. It's really hard with the kids. I have 2 kids. They gave us a hard time.
اللي بيتر ستيت ل3 ساعات ለምናምን ታሰብሯል ተብሎ ይሆናል አታውቀው ለምንድን ነው ስትባል የሚመልስልህ የሆነ ነገር ማናገር ስትፈልግ ማናጀር ነው ማናጀር ለማግኘት ደግሞ ወይ ሚቲንግ ነው ምናምን የሚባሉና ያውቁታል ማስተካከል አለባቸው ሶ እኛ ፑሽ ነው ማድረግ ያለብን ማቆም የለብንም
We've been doing this almost 4 years. We're still fighting, struggling. We pay the rent which is from our saving. Because we cannot go anywhere, we cannot be homeless. We've been here a long time. We have to be here until we died or until we go back home.
أنا وعندي زوجتي وعندي بنتين وفجأة أنا بقيت عيان يعني أنا ما زول ما صغير يعني لكن هو الحال فرقدت المستشفى أسبوعين ولما جيت اللي نايم الرنت ما قادر أدفعه لأنه كنت عيان ما شغال أنا بشتغل أوبر يعني يوم بيوم يعني وقفت من الأوبر معناته ما في شغل فديل ناس الأوفيس ادوني نوتس فور 5 days لازم أدفع القروش وأنا ما عندي قروش يعني في بعض المنظمات ساهمت يعني حلت المشكلة ستيل أنا عندي علي قروش وحس عندي مواعيد بتاعت كورت 28 مارس 28 فأنا ما أعرف يعني بعد المحكمة لو طلعوني الشارع أمشي أنا غالبا أمشي أراون الوايت هاوس ميبي الكونغرس أي حتة أقعد فيها يعني that's it like homeless يعني
እኔ ለምሳሌ ከ2015 ጀምሬ እዚህ ሬንተርስ ነኝ። በየአመቱ ክራይ ይጨምራል። ብቻዬን ነው የምኖረው። ሩሜት እንኳን የለም። 1400 1500 ብቻዬን ነው የምከፍለው። ይጨመርብኛል። አፎርደብል ዩኒት ስር ነኝ ያለሁት ግን ሆኖም ይጨመራል ቤት ክራይ። ለነሱ አመልክተ አልቅሰ ትልቅ ነኝ ማሩ መረዳት አለብኝ ብዬ ነግሬያቸው እንኳን ሊረዱና 2 ቀን ሳሳልፍ ቶሎ ብለሽ በ5 ቀን ውስጥ ቤቱን ለቀሽ ውጪ አጽድተሽ ብሎ ደብዳቤ ነው የሚልኩልኝ። አሁን ጁን ላይ ነው የሚጨርሰው። ምን ማድረግ እንዳለብኝ ራሱ አላውቅም። ክፍያውን በስቶብኛል። እሰራለሁ፣ ቤት ኪራይ ብቻ ነው የምከፍለው። እውነቴን ነው የምልህ። አፍሪካ ኮሚኒቲ ፉድ ካርድ ይሰጠኛል። እኔ ግን ሰርቼ የቤት ኪራይ ነው የምከፍለው። ለምን ደጅ እንዳላድር።
We still continue to fight. We're still here. We are not going anywhere.
Since you are among that community, you feel that belongingness. You feel that pain. As a community organizer and resident of Alexandria, I'd like to ask you to support bills that allows for more affordable housing so that communities who have been contributed to society contribute to building up our neighborhoods and our economy will have the opportunity to stay where they made a home.
I remember when my parents and my brother and sister and I moved here from the Gambia, and you know, I remember all the sacrifices that my parents needed to make in order to make ends meet, and that's kind of what, you know, kind of keeps pushing me, right? There's like a very personal connection. It's about making sure that communities that have built an entire neighborhood off of like their backs and their hard work aren't displaced.
Our community has to be seen and get the respect that, you know, we deserve. We can mobilize, we can stand up to our employers, we can stand up to our policymakers, we can stand up to our landlords so that we could be able to live here without fear and equality.